Gamer Brat Show!
What am I gonna do today? I have nothing to do during October except Halloween and other things. Kinda boring today.
Hey, what's up, Gamer Brat?
What? Is that Triple H?
Yeah, Gamer Brat, it's me. We've kind of had this crazy idea that was proposed by my creative team, and we've seen how you and Xavion operate. We've seen how your channel's going. So on behalf of everyone in creative, we want to offer you the chance to take over creative until WrestleMania 42. We're going to give you a chance to book the shows until WrestleMania 42, and then that will be your limit. Then after that, we'll probably call you up for stuff in case we ever need you again, but yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Wow, thanks, Triple H. I'm so honored. I love it. I accept, I really do. Yeah, I want to take over creative. I have so many good ideas. I can't wait. Alright. Let me propose my first idea. Well, first of all, let's go to backstage, alright? Let's go.
Okay, so, what's your first idea for this episode of SmackDown? To a bit of recap if you haven't seen the show, Seth Rollins just got betrayed by the Vision. Penta just lost to Dominic Mysterio. And,
No, it's okay. I watched the show, I know.
oh, you watched the show, okay. Okay, so you don't need the recap.
No, I watched the show. I know what's going on in WWE. That's why I propose these ideas. I'm gonna read them off to you right now. Okay, so the first SmackDown after Crown Jewel. It already happened by the time this video probably goes out. But let's start it off with a Cody Rhodes promo. Talking about who he doesn't care who he fights in the, that wins the number one contenders match, whether that's Jacob Fatu or Drew McIntyre, and he just says he's ready for them.
Boys, whether it's Drew McIntyre or Jacob Fatu that wins the main event match and faces me for my WWE Championship at Saturday night's main event, the result is going to end the same, with the American Nightmare ending up on top and being your WWE Undisputed Champion.
Next, we have Tala Tonga versus Eric Rowan on SmackDown, and it's a good match between two giants, but Tala Tonga gets to win overall. Then we have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Zaruka for the Women's Tag Team Championships, with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair retaining the titles. And then we have Damian Priest backstage, who gets attacked by Zelina Vega. Then we have a Carmelo Hayes promo talking about how he's tired of The Miz and he doesn't like how The Miz was doing him. Then we have Solo Sikoa versus Montez Ford to try and gain some momentum, and that gives Solo some momentum to try and chase after the United States Championship. Then we have Julia laying out a challenge to any woman backstage to face her next week for the Women's United States Championship. Then we have Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu for the number one contenders for the WWE Championship. And we would have Jacob Fatu win. That's what I got.
Wow, how'd you get this all so fast?
Well, you know, I've kind of had it for a while, and you know, if I ever needed it, I've always thought about how I would do WWE. Now I finally get the chance to do it. Thank you, Triple H. I'll see you next week for next Monday, or for this coming Monday show. Alright. Alrighty, I'm back. Now, I'm gonna give you the rundown for this Raw. Okay, so we start the show with Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree puts up a very good effort, almost defeating Becky Lynch, getting Becky Lynch scared, and almost shocking, pulling up the win. But in the end, Becky Lynch finds some cheap tactic to win, and Maxine takes the L to Becky Lynch just barely, but the result means Becky. Then, next is a Vision promo, the Vision, with Paul Heyman talking about he's conflicted about everything that's going on. He's conflicted. He doesn't know what to think. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed taking out Seth Rollins, kicking him out of the Vision. He thought Seth Rollins would carry the Vision to propel them into superstardom. So he's confused on what Braun Breaker is doing, and Braun Breaker declares himself as the self-proclaimed leader of the Vision. Then, the Judgment Day takes on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for the Tag Team Championships, ending up with the Judgment Day retaining the titles, Dragon Lee taking the pin because JD McDonough. And then, we have a surprise guest on the show.
Yeah, now we're talking. I show speed. Somebody get the man some knee pads, some elbow pads, a crash helmet. Hey, he appeared at WrestleMania dressed in a prime bottle. Remember that?
This man is built for the moment. Had no idea he was. Now he's sprinting his way to the ring.
And look at how he got in the ring. That was pretty nice. And
that special guest turns out to be ISO Speed. ISO Speed comes back and returns to WWE to announce something, that he will be having a singles match at some point. He will be having a singles match. Like he said, he's been cheap-shotted too much, and he wants to step in the ring and get into our world. So, as he says that, Grayson Waller comes out and gives him a rolling stun. Because Waller thinks he is tired of these celebrities coming in thinking they're megastars. So he wants to do something about it. Then, we have Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley with Avalanche Riptide. And that secures the win for Rhea Ripley. Then we have Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev for the Intercontinental Championship, the main event match. But it ends up with Dominic Mysterio cheating in some way, shape, or form to retain the Intercontinental Championship and remain the greatest Mysterio of all time. And then the show ends with a promo from Jey Uso saying he will claim singles gold again. He will reclaim the title that he once had, but only for 51 days, and he said he'll reclaim it by any means necessary. And that's what I got from Monday Night Raw.
Oh, so we're gonna have ISO Speed come back and take another bump and then get his own match with Grayson Waller and, after all those two spots with Braun Breaker and Randy Orton absolutely murdering him, we're gonna bring him back and have him train for a match.
Yup! Exactly.
Alright, just keeping shit. Continue.
Alright, so on SmackDown, Jimmy Uso goes to SmackDown to try and convince Sami Zayn to help him with this Jey Uso problem. How Jey Uso's been acting recently. So Jimmy goes over to SmackDown to try and help get Sami Zayn to come and help him with the Jey Uso problem. But Sami Zayn says that he has too much of a problem with his brother Solo on SmackDown. So he's too busy to do that. Then the MFTs interrupt. Then a match gets announced between Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the MFTs. Ending up with Sami Zayn picking up the win by pinning Tama Tonga. Then Julia has her open challenge, which comes out to be answered by none other than Miss Parker. And then Julia retains the Women's United States Championship in a good, decent match between Jade Parker. Then It's the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits, and it's a very competitive match. It's really good. We're ending up with the Motor City Machine Guns on top. Then we get a Zelina Vega promo talking about how Damian Priest is weak and Aleister Black is a real man, and how they are gonna take over WWE if it's the last thing they do. This new dark side is just what Zelina Vega needed to finally get up and be taken seriously. Then we have Alexa Bliss versus Lash Legend. And I'd say it's a pretty good match, ending up with the result you would expect. And Zara Russo is backstage thinking that they deserve a rematch for the women's tag titles, and they claim that they deserve a rematch. And then at the end to close the show, Jacob Fatu says that Cody Rhodes, no matter how tough he may be, Jacob Fatu is tougher, and he's willing to take the WWE Championship by any means necessary because he's all gas, no breaks with it. Yada yada mean. The weeks go on and on and on. Grande Americano ends up defeating Rusev and Valkyrie and Lyra Valkyria face off against the Judgment Day, and the Creed brothers make their presence felt. They return and mess up the number one contenders match between the New Day and the War Raiders. Grayson Waller has a promo talking about ISO Speed and Austin Theory, how they're both trash. And all this. Dragon Lee and Dom go at it. Braun Breaker ends up winning the World Heavyweight Championship the World Heavyweight Championship tournament to face CM Punk in Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Then we make it to Saturday night's main event. Then we are met with the match card. Show will start off with Stephanie Vacquer versus Bayley, because Bayley was jealous that Stephanie Vacquer teamed up with her partner Lyra, and the match was pretty good, but it ended up with Stephanie Vacquer retaining her Women's World Championship. Then we move on to Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev versus Dragon Lee versus Grande Americano for the Intercontinental Championship. It's a fantastic fatal four-way with very talented superstars, and it ends with Dirty Dominic Mysterio stealing the win in the end. Then it's Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu, and it's a really good match. Jacob Fatu comes so close to winning, but as soon as the match was getting good, Drew McIntyre comes in and makes it go for a DQ. Then Drew McIntyre just takes out both Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, standing tall, holding the WWE Championship. Then we move on to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair defending their tag team titles against Nia Jax and Lash Legend. It's a really good match. As soon as Lash and Nia were looking like they were going to win, Lash Legend turns babyface and betrays Nia Jax. Then Alexa Bliss hits a Twisted Bliss and pins Nia for the win. They just win by any result. Alexa and Charlotte win by any result. And then the main event is CM Punk versus Braun Breaker. And it's a really good match. It ends the show, and it's really good. It comes so close for Braun Breaker, but Paul Heyman is having second thoughts about this whole thing and comes to confront Braun Breaker, telling him, "Are we sure about what we're doing here?" And he doesn't really like it. Also, Jey Uso and LA Knight still want their path to the world title, so they both come out and take out Bronson Reed, but then they also take out each other. But then in the end, CM Punk hits the GTS on Braun Breaker. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is the new World Heavyweight Champion. More weeks go by, and a noticeable thing over these past few weeks is that ISO Speed was on the Grayson Waller effect, and some stuff went down. But now we're here at Survivor Series. And the show will start off with Team AJ Lee versus Team Becky Lynch in War Games. And it's a really competitive match with Team AJ Lee being herself, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. And then Becky Lynch's team would be herself, the Kabuki Warriors, and the Judgment Day, with AJ Lee's team picking up the win. Then we move on to Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. It's a really good match. Solo tries to reclaim his title, but in the end, Sami Zayn retains the United States Championship. Then we move on to the attraction match between ISO Speed and Grayson Waller.
WWE Universe more than ready to see this one start. This is going to be good. The competition level has never been higher, but this guy's ready to prove he can hang.
ISO Speed's first WWE match, and it's really good. He puts up a good performance. He's very athletic and he's very talented. He can do it, and it's a really good match. And he actually picks up the win. Then we have John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio trying to win a Grand Slam championship. And it's competitive. It's very close between both men. But John Cena does the unthinkable, becomes a Grand Slam champion, and completes every record he's wanted. 17 and Grand Slam champion. Then we move on to Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz. Melo versus Miz, but The Miz takes the L to Carmelo Hayes. Then we have Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu for the WWE Championship. And first off, I gotta make a call. Well, Xavion's out there in attendance, and I'm gonna tell him to do something. Hey, you guys have control to talk to Xavion. So, talk to Xavion and tell him to go out there and go support Cody. Go try to support Cody Rhodes, okay? Go tell him to do that. Tell him the Gamer Brat told him to do that.
Yo, does anyone know why Gamer Brat wanted me out here? I'm kinda confused. Hey, any of you in the front row know? Wait, why is Drew coming? Ah!
What a win for the champ as he retains the title.
A pretty impressive defense. Challengers might think twice before coming at him now.
Oh my gosh, he got wrecked. Oh, he's gonna be so mad at me later. But anyway, let's continue. Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton. It's a really good match between two talented females. But Bianca Belair becomes the new women's. Also, Cody Rhodes retains, by the way. And also, Bianca Belair becomes the new women's champion. Then we have the main event. Team Bloodline with Roman Reigns, the Usos, CM Punk, and LA Knight versus Team Vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar, and Austin Theory. Really competitive match, and these turned out to be your winners. The same with the AJ Lee match. These turned out to be your winners.
Incredible fortitude to get the job done tonight.
Ah! You're sick! You set me up to get Claymore? What is wrong? Oh my days! What's wrong with you, bro? How? I thought we were friends. Ah. I still am unsteady about that. You're gonna pay, man. You're gonna pay Gamer Brat. Mark my words.
Saturday night's main event. Here we go. The Saturday night's main event after Survivor Series. It kicks off with Randy Orton versus Logan Paul in Saturday night's main event. And let's get quick with this one. Randy Orton obviously gets to win over Logan Paul. Then is Julia versus Alexa Bliss for the Women's United States Championship. It's a good match, but Julia ends up retaining the Women's United States Championship. Then we have Braun Breaker versus Austin Theory. Both really talented and the futures of WWE. Both the future of WWE. And Braun Breaker ends up on top. Then we have Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. And this match is nothing short of amazing. But Bayley wins against Lyra Valkyria. Then we have AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And AJ Lee becomes the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. We have CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Basically as good as their SummerSlam match, if not better. And CM Punk retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Then it's the main event. John Cena versus Drew McIntyre. John Cena's last match in the WWE. And with the upset, Drew McIntyre defeats John Cena in his last match. With the crowd, after Drew leaves, the crowd chants, "Thank you, Cena," giving him his flowers for his whole career, carrying the WWE and being the face of the company. Then Cena walks out, sad, being his last match. Alright, we are at the Royal Rumble, okay? So, first, before we do anything, let me make it up to Xavier by telling him something awesome. Xavier!
What? What is it this time? You got me in trouble at the Survivor Series.
Look,
what is it?
I know you mad at me, but no worries. That's why you're in Saudi Arabia right now. I flew you out to Saudi Arabia to tell you because you're gonna be in the Royal Rumble.
Wait, what? I'm not even prepared. What? You're telling me I'm in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, you're gonna be in the Rumble, man.
Yo, this is sick. I'm not
in
even
the main
ready.
event tonight. Get ready, get your gear up. Well, I know I just laid this on you, but be ready because you're gonna be in the Royal Rumble match. So don't wanna miss it. Have fun, buddy. Yeah, it felt good. But anyways, let's get on with the show. We'll start with the Women's Royal Rumble. There's a lot of good surprises. Paige inevitably returns to WWE, even if WWE rips their signs and tells them that Paige ain't coming back. He came back. Brie Bella comes back in the Rumble. Trish Stratus, you know she would come back every once in a while. Even Lita, yeah, those two. Some of the divas from their era come back. And But through it all, the final two is Liv Morgan, a returning Liv Morgan, and AJ Lee. And AJ Lee Liv Morgan wins the Women's Royal Rumble because AJ Lee's already the Women's Intercontinental Champion, so she doesn't need to win. But Liv Morgan wins the Royal Rumble and gets to challenge any person of her choosing. Then we have the Creed Brothers versus Los Americanos with Blue and Red Americana, with those two guys fighting Brutus Creed and Julius Creed. And the Creed Brothers obviously retain their World Tag Team Championships. Then we move on to Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. It's a decent match, nothing really too special. No, actually they shocked the people. People didn't really invest in it, but it's kind of good match. But Bianca Belair retains, and that's the main point. Then we have Cody Rhodes versus The Miz for the WWE Championship. The Miz showing why he's very underrated to the people. So Miz shows them that he can still hang in this era of wrestling. And The Miz, although he doesn't win, he puts up a good performance, but Cody Rhodes retains the title, obviously. And then it's Stephanie Vaquer versus Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane proving that she belongs in the world title division, but Stephanie Vaquer retains the Women's World Championship. And then it's CM Punk versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's cut to the chase. CM Punk is still your World Heavyweight Champion. The main event. The Men's Royal Rumble. Okay. The Rumble. Let's see who the Rumble will start off with. The Rumble is gonna start off Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov.
Then, later on in the Royal Rumble match.
I'm not ready though. Well, here goes nothing.
The beast is coming. He's been now that he's out, it's gonna be. Don't try to mess with him or you'll get a piece. Don't let him break your bones or you'll be a
Matches like these, with
Footsteps
talent of this
in
caliber,
the
this is why
street
sports entertainment
Every
is in our
scream
form.
just feeds his hunger. You can run, but you can't hide long. He sniffs out fear, that's his theme song.
I can't believe Xavier Dunn's in the Royal Rumble!
Sky turns black. Once he loses, there's no turning back. Legends fade.
Yo, I can't believe I'm in the Rumble!
Oh my god! I thought he was gonna last a little bit longer. Well, I guess it's his first Rumble. I mean, he really wants to be a WWE superstar. So he's gotta know what it's like to get inside the Royal Rumble. What can I say? Somebody check on him if he's okay. Dang. But anyways, we get star-studded people. Even Dwayne Johnson enters in as number 25. And number 30 would be Chris Jericho returning to the WWE. And it's pretty good. But also,
Are you guys ready?
The Spartans going live and we won't be denied. Like John Moran, if you ain't with us, keep it on that side. Soon as BDE arrives, you know the when you hit Ohio, bring in at 175 pounds.
I can't watch this entrance. I heard this one backstage talking up their own work non-stop. Why don't they get in the ring and prove it, huh?
also BDE, Brandon Collins, enters in the Royal Rumble. He's another content creator, just like Xavier Dunn. He actually puts up a good performance and he lasts a little bit. But he goes for a frog splash on the top, but misses and gets hit with an RKO by Randy Orton and then gets thrown out. Then we have another surprise entrance, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with.
Alright, I love this guy.
From Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 225 pounds, Speedy.
Hey, where's the horse? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what horse?
The high horse this superstar always seems to be on. Did
I Show Speed enters the Royal Rumble again, this time fully prepared in his ring outfit. And he lasts a little bit. He gets an elimination on Grayson Waller. He gets an elimination on Americano. He eliminates Americano. And remember how he said he was going to eliminate Roman Reigns in the 2026 Royal Rumble? Well, Roman Reigns didn't forget about that. So you know what? He hits Speed with a spear, throws him out, eliminates him. Then the Rumble continues to go on with a bunch of surprises. Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker even come face to face. But the final two consists of Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, ending up with Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber. Let's get right into the show. First, we have the Women's Elimination Chamber match with Bayley, Jade Cargill, Asuka, Tiffany Stratton, Nikki Bella, and Io Sky, with the winner being Jade Cargill going to WrestleMania and choosing Bianca because Liv Morgan chose to face off against Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. Then, it's Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker, and Sami Zayn wins because Brock Lesnar cost Braun Breaker the match. Then, it's Stephanie Vaquer versus Alexa Bliss for the Women's World Championship, and Stephanie Vaquer retains the Women's World Championship because Charlotte Flair cost Alexa Bliss the match. Then we have AJ Lee defends her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch, with AJ Lee retaining the Women's Intercontinental Championship, but Roxanne Perez confronts her after the match. Then we have the Men's Elimination Chamber match with Randy Orton, Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, and Roman Reigns. And it ends up with Randy Orton winning and challenging Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Again, it's going to be Jimmy Uso versus Ilya Dragunov for the Intercontinental Championship. And Ilya Dragunov becomes the new Intercontinental Champion because Jey Uso cost his own brother the title because he's jealous that he doesn't have a title and that Jimmy isn't worthy of it, he says. Then, the main event, since Elimination Chamber's in Chicago, it's CM Punk versus AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship, with CM Punk retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. Now it's time for the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. And it's a really stacked card, I would say. There's so many people that we could have fit on WrestleMania, but we couldn't get them a match. Unfortunately, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, and others you may notice are not on this WrestleMania card, but that's okay. Here are the people that are. Night 1 kicks off with AJ Lee versus Roxanne Perez for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and that goes with Roxanne Perez defeating AJ Lee to become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Then we have Chad Gable versus El Grande Americano, and Chad Gable defeats El Grande Americano and unmasking him to be none other than Ludwig Kaiser. Yeah, I know, big shocker. Then it's Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. And shockingly, Bianca Belair using heel tactics to retain her women's championship. Then we got Carmelo Hayes with his U.S. Open Challenge, and it's answered by none other than Oba Femi. And Oba Femi becomes the new United States champion. Then we got Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso with special guest referee Rikishi in a street fight, and Jimmy Uso defeats Jey Uso, but Rikishi talks to his boys after the match to try and make them unite, and they do. Then it's Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss pulls off the win against Miss Charlotte Flair. Then we got CM Punk versus Sami Zayn in the main event of Night 1 WrestleMania. And Sami Zayn becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. And the Saudi crowd loved it. Night 2 of WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas is upon us, and it starts off hot with Roman Reigns versus The Rock, the dream match finally happening because Seth Rollins' injury prevented the other thing from happening. So now Roman Reigns remains on top of his family and beats The Rock. Then it's Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar, and Braun Breaker puts down the beast Brock Lesnar, cementing his dominance as the new beast, the new face that runs the place. Now it's Kairi Sane versus Asuka versus Io Sky, and let's say Kairi Sane wins this match. Then we have AJ Styles versus Mike Santana, for the TNA World Championship, and AJ Styles does it. He wins the TNA World Championship. Then we have Nikki Bella versus Tiffany Stratton, with Tiffany Stratton defeating Nikki Bella at WrestleMania. Then we have Montez Ford versus Angelo Dawkins, which I failed to mention that Angelo Dawkins betrayed Montez Ford at Survivor Series. So that just happened, and Montez Ford gets the win. Then we have a SmackDown TLC Tag Team match coming out with Pretty Deadly becoming the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Then we have Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship, and Liv Morgan becomes the new Women's World Champion. Then we have the main event match, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, with Randy Orton becoming the new WWE Champion. Then Drew McIntyre comes out after the match, claymores both, and holds that WWE Championship, claiming he has broken dreams to fulfill.